Most founders treat remote hiring like it's some sort of pricing game. $4 or $5 an hour sounds great on paper, but the truth is cheap labor is going to cost you a lot more in time, churn, and missed outcomes and opportunities. At Zaboda, we've interviewed thousands of candidates across 20 plus different countries. We're mapping out the top 10 most margin-friendly but still quality-friendly countries in today's video. Let's start in Latin America. These countries I'm about to mention are gold mines when it comes to time zone overlap, English level, and cultural alignment. The first country on our list is Argentina, and what you're going to notice about Argentina is if you look at the time zone, part of the year it's only 1 hour ahead of Eastern Standard, other part of the year from November to mid-March, it's only 2 hours ahead of Eastern Standard, which is great. In hiring from Argentina over the last 3+ years, what we've noticed is the English level is rising. There's strong universities, there's many grads coming out where they're familiar with the language of the internet, which is English, and having English skills is in culturally. So the strong English is a very, very key part of one of the reasons that we decide to hire from Argentina. One of the nice things about Argentina is the type of talent that's there. There's a lot of different types of roles, if it's SDRs, if it's operations manager, creatives, graphic designers, but also they have technical talent, developer talent. So if you're building a software startup or you need additional devs, you don't want to pay high US prices, Argentina is a great place to look. The second country on our list is Colombia, and the nice thing about Colombia is, again, the time zone. Part of the year, they're only 1 hour behind Eastern Standard. The other part of the year, they're perfectly aligned. It's something that I noticed about Colombia since we've been hiring there for the last 3 years is the SDR, the sales, the appointment setters, the account executives. That type of sales talent is very, very skilled because you have a lot of people who run info products or marketing agencies. They're coming back and forth between Colombia. So they're building these different remote offices and remote teams down there. So you get people who have very, very niche experience within niche US markets. So it's very, very strong for any type of sales talent. And another thing that's worth mentioning is there's a lot of different staffing agencies that base themselves in Colombia or have large talent pools in Colombia. So you can find these different people who have large staffing agencies where they have maybe 100 people working in an office servicing the US market. And a lot of times it's in the industries of like real estate, appointment setting, lead generation as a service. So there's a lot of really, really talented sales folks that you can find from these different staffing companies who could be perfect for your offer. Now let's go to the other side of the world and talk about Central and Eastern Europe. These are very elite talent pools with very niche and industry-specific experience. Now, each of these countries has kind of their own alignment and niche that they're deep into. So let's jump in and talk about the first country on our list from Central and Eastern Europe, Serbia. And now, before I talk a little bit more in depth about Serbia, I want to tell you a little trick that I use when I'm hiring remote talent. So I look at these fast-growing startups. Maybe they're on the Inc. 5000 list. Maybe they're Y Combinator. Maybe they just got funding. I try to figure out where are their sales teams located or back-end offices. You can find people with extreme niche experience in the US market, and they already know how to operate in fast-growing companies. So they could be a strong asset to your team. What I noticed about Serbia is there's several of these companies that are based in Palo Alto, or maybe they're based in San Francisco. Their whole back office or sales team is based in Serbia. And so what you'll find is on the phones and with customer support and account management, Serbians are very good client-facing. The accents are very minimal, and they're only 6 hours ahead of Eastern Standard. So if you're on Central Time or Eastern Standard Time, Serbia is a really good option for you. If you're in California, maybe you're based in California, most of your time spent in California, it's not as good of an option. Yes, there's people who are willing to work a 9-hour time difference, but it just makes the talent pool a lot smaller. The next country that I want to talk about on this list is Montenegro, and why Montenegro specifically. So when you're hiring remote talent, you want to think about the tax implications, not just yours in the US or wherever you may be located, but the person who's doing the work, your international contractor or team member. What are the taxes that they need to pay for their local or their federal government? Because if you hire someone in a high tax jurisdiction, you're going to erase all the savings that you thought you would get hiring remote talent globally. Instead, what you can do is you can look for a place like Montenegro where they have affordable contractor, independent entrepreneur tax rates. The tax rates are about 9 to 15% depending on the company structure and setup for people in Montenegro. So it's more affordable and it's better and attracts better talent than some places that have a 40, 50% tax rate when it's all said and done. You get people who are traveling from these high tax countries, getting tax residency in Montenegro, staying, living in Montenegro, and you get a better talent pool that way. The third country that I want to talk about in the Central and Eastern Europe part of this video is Romania, and it's one of my favorite countries. I've got a lot of friends there who are running international companies, doing business with the US, UK, and Canada alike. And one of the things you're going to notice there is the internet is incredibly fast. So they try to digitize their country. They wanted to have the fastest internet speeds, so they have a lot of fiber optic cables. It's very, very fast. Another thing you're going to notice is the English level is very high. So you have a lot of people who are going from Romania to the UK and back and forth. You're going to notice there's a lot of IT companies and corporate companies that have back offices in Romania where all the work is done in English. And this is a good opportunity for you to to find those different employees, those different contractors, and work with them for your company. The fourth country that I want to talk about in today's video, in the Central and Eastern Europe part of the video, is one that's very near and dear to me. It's Poland, and this is where I spend most of my time throughout the year. What you're going to notice about Poland is sometimes people have a mindset where they think Poland is, 1990s Poland. Everything's gray, everything's kind of post-Soviet, things are moving slow as an Eastern European country. It's actually quite the opposite. In the last 20, 25 years, what Poland's been able to do is fantastic. Their GDP is like a hockey stick, and when you look at other Western countries in Europe, their GDPs are slowing, they're stagnating, right? And Poland's been a central tech hub where they're getting a lot of different Ukrainians who may be coming and escaping from the war, and they're bringing all those skills and coming to Poland. And what you also notice is there's a lot of different companies that have strong offices here. We've got CBRE here, we have PandaDoc. These are companies that maybe you've used in the past, PandaDoc being that e-signature platform. I know it's very popular for online service businesses. I myself use it, and they have a strong talent pool here from people who came from these other countries, came to Poland, are developing their skills. And as Western Europe faces different changes and things that make their business landscape just unattractive, millionaires and decamillionaires from these different countries are actually coming to Poland and starting businesses and basing their operations here. So there's a ton of talent when these business owners come in and they start to run their businesses here. The next country on this list is Ukraine. Now, despite the war, the Ukrainian people are very resilient and they have a lot of very, very skilled IT, technical, and developer level talent. It's been that way for the last 30 years where there's back offices in Ukraine for anything IT related. So you have very, very, very skilled people. Despite there being a war, despite there being a conflict, they're persevering, they're making ends meet, and they're very, very skilled. Some of the best hires that we've ever done have come out of Ukraine, and the people are fantastic and their skills are just top notch. And part of the reason that's true is because there's so many different resources around coding, IT, technical talent. If you want to start learning to code, there's many, many different boot camps, international schools, private schools, local schools to learn how to get in development, IT, and technical type of roles. The last country on the list of Central and Eastern Europe countries in this video is Georgia, and this is one of my favorite countries by far. I visit there 3-4 times a year, and I have a lot of team members who are based there. The tax structure there is very attractive for them. It's 1 to 3% depending on how they structure their company, depending on how high the revenues are. In the last 5 years, there's been a massive surge in startups, IT talent, technical talent, and sales talent as well. We've also seen recently that Georgia is just punching above its weight level when it comes to creative talent, media buyers, and anything in the affiliate world. For the last part of this video, we're going to talk about Africa and the Middle East. There's 2 countries that we mainly hire from in Africa and the Middle East. The first is South Africa. South Africa is great when it comes to the English level. If you need native level English, they have that. So if you're based in the UK and you're wanting to work with someone aligned with a time zone and has native level English, South Africa is the perfect place to hire from. Our last couple hires from South Africa have all been client facing. They've either been account managers or focused on the sales side, SDRs, account executives. It's perfect for that. If you're on the East Coast of the US, there's only a 7-hour time difference, so it's still doable for overlap or them just working on your time zone. If you're based in Mount Standard, CST, or Pacific, there's other places near shore like LATAM that might be a lot better for you. The last country on this list is one that people don't think of very often, and it is Egypt. What a lot of people don't realize about Egypt is a lot of the customer support and sales stuff is done for the UAE, Saudi Arabia, and the Middle East by people in Egypt because they speak Arabic fluently and they also speak English fluently. So if you're one of those unique businesses that need someone who's bilingual with Arabic or English, or maybe you just want someone who's really good with English, Egypt is definitely a place that you should look for that type of talent. If you're still hiring on who's cheapest and you're overlooking quality, you're leaking profit and time. At Zaboda, we bring you full-time professionals, people who already know how to think, work, and communicate at a high level. If you're still stuck trying to hire remote talent, you're not sure what role you should hire for, you're not sure how best to onboard them, what country makes sense depending on where you're located and your specific type of business, click the link down below in the description, schedule a call, and we'll go over your hiring process and show you the best place to hire talent specifically for your business.